Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. I appreciate your support. If you're interested in doing that, you can get the daily forecast a day early. You can also get certain readings that are only available over on Patreon, depending on the subscription level that you choose. Go to patreon.com and look up Engelgeist, and you can choose a subscription level if you like. If you're interested in a private reading, feel free to message me at my Facebook business page. If you're watching on YouTube, please go over there and like the Facebook business page, and vice versa. If you're watching via Facebook or you found me from Facebook, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So, this is a broad forecast for the greater collective, for the highest good for the greater collective. Therefore, it is set originally for the date of October 7th, Wednesday, but it is a sort of timeless message in the sense that if it is for the highest good, whenever it finds its way to you is when you're supposed to see it. So if you're looking at it on a date that's not October 7th, that's okay. It may be time for you to see it when you are actually viewing it. If it doesn't make sense for any reason, that's okay too. Doesn't mean that anything's wrong or that things aren't, going to plan. You just might be working on something different than what the message is about today. So if you're seeing this and you're like, that doesn't make sense, that's completely acceptable, fine. No need for alarm. Now, beyond that, if you choose to make any decisions in your life in regards to having watched this video, please be aware that that is your responsibility. Those decisions are your responsibility. And this reading is broad spectrum, intended for quite a few people to watch it. And therefore, take what you need and leave the rest kind of thing. Never, sort of trust your own intuition above all else. Your own decision making. Allow this reading to help assist with that. But don't take it over what you know to be correct and true. Does that make sense? I hope so. It's been a crazy morning here, guys. I had to run the cats to the vet. It's 11:20. I never do these this late in the day. I usually have them done way early. So I just feel like my day is wonky. All right, so let's get into this. So we have Wednesday the 7th, so we are definitely at the midweek, and that is that praying mantis energy is underpinning all of this. So let's see what our first card is. Okay, it's Maria Sabina, and this is healing. What a beautiful card. This is the Literary Witches deck, a gift from a viewer, Jen Nichols. Thank you so much, Jen. We all love this deck when it comes around, and this is probably going to be my October go-to deck. In this deck, though, we have the Literary Witches, which are these women that are, literary writers that the deck is sort of geared around, and I consider them to be sort of like their version of a major arcana for this deck. So what that means to me, and the reason why I'm explaining that, is usually when you get a literary witch, it's a more impactful day. It has a little bit more of a message. It's a little bit more maybe of an intense or exciting energy. There might be a little bit more accessible to you, possible, all of that. Now, when I look at Maria Sabina, the interesting thing is her attribute is healing, right? Now, the thing that I like about her is I feel like she's trying to connect all the different parts of her. We have the hand, which to me, and the feet, which are also sort of like, touching the earth. They're trying to all connect, yet, is this going to make sense? It sort of feels like trying to bring the spiritual in with the physical and sort of bringing the two together. And where they meet. Also, we have of these animals here. This looks like some sort of a dog or a wolf. This looks like a panther of some sort. And then we have these two hummingbirds, which should signify joy. To me, it feels like it's almost the physical meeting with the spiritual meeting with nature, right? And the healing that takes place from that. And what I mean by that is sort of that, like, where do we connect into our world? Where do we heal within our world? Where do we afford ourselves the time to do that, right? Where do we focus our attention and ground ourselves and connect up all the different parts of ourselves and honor all of those parts, right? There's an age to this card, or to this woman in this card. I'm not super familiar with the author, but I like that she's older, like there's a wisdom there, right? And so when I'm looking at this, although she feels she actually kind of feels like me today, a little bit detached, a little bit kind of all over the place. Not all over the place in a bad way, but sort of trying to ground and center herself and bring all of the different components together so that she can sort of connect with her world in a way that feels whole, healed, joyous. That's these two hummingbirds there, so that she can bring about that feeling of joy and connectivity, not only with the world around her, but within herself, right? And we do that through healing ourselves, right? And healing for each and every person is going to look different because we each have very different experiences, very different levels of what needs to be healed or how it needs to be healed. So that's kind of, to me, determined by each person. Does that make sense? So if you're feeling a little bit, I don't know if detached is the right word. It's interesting to me because those hands and those feet are sort of detached from her body, but I feel like it's sort of like the physical meeting the spiritual, meeting the natural world, right? So it's like our spirit, our body coming together, and then meeting the world around us and the messages that come through that, right? The ability that when we connect to that, when we bring them all three together, even if it is a struggle at times, right? Because I do get a little bit of a struggle from this card where she feels like she's kind of trying to get all the components sort of lined up. Even if we do struggle, we have the wisdom and the strength and the ability, right, to make this happen. And it's almost like, to me, another level of learning comes, or another level of awareness comes, and that might be through that healing, through that honor of ourselves, our physical and our spiritual, and the gifts of the environment around us, right? So let's see what the Queen of the Moon has to say. Okay, it's only one card came off the bottom, only one card cut off the deck. This is change. This is the Thunder Moon. Oh shit, guys. All right, so there's a lot going on in this card. Do you see all of that lightning, first and foremost? Let me just look at this really quick. Is that an egg? Okay, so let's look at this here. There's quite a bit going on in here. So we have this woman in the waves, right? There's a lot of emotional activity, or these are clouds, waves to me, that sort of looks like, and then we have all of this thunder coming through, or this lightning coming through, right? These seagulls. This to me appears to be like an egg, right? The moon is up here. It feels like she's sort of pushing this egg. Wow, this is... I really believe that anybody that's working on some major change, or this is an opportunity for major change, through this change there will be this opportunity to heal ourselves. By approaching this change, by facing it head on, by challenging it sort of also in a way, because I do feel like there's a forcefulness with this woman sort of floating here. She's freeing herself up. These lightning strikes to me speak to this idea of, it always brings me to this place of kind of inspired thought, or, you know, flashes of awareness, and going like, oh wow, I didn't see it that way, or, you know, maybe even being shocked a little bit into seeing something a little bit more clearly, something that needs to be changed, something that needs to be affected, rolling with that change and bringing it into like facing it, how do I want to say this, like going after it like sort of full force versus avoiding it, right? To me, I feel like there is a large, these cards, it's interesting, they sort of feel like a little bit tumultuous, in the sense that she feels a little bit detached over here. She feels very busy at work here, swirling around in all of this. Expect shifts, expect opportunities here to potentially change things so that you can find healing. I love that this is card number 35, which is also the number 8, which always brings about a sort of balance after we actively make choices that we move through from that energy of a 7. that brings us into that place of, we've chosen it with that vibration of 7. 8 is about adapting that choice and balancing it, bringing it into balance. So to me, this change is something that we need to go through to receive or shift the space that we're in so that we can maybe bring about the healing that we see in Maria Sabina's card. The grounding stone, this is something to ground in during this time, is happiness. All right, so, sorry guys, making a mess here. Come on, happiness. This stone, when I look at this feels like wow. All right, I don't know if anybody out there can relate to this reading. I'm just going to put this out there because this feels like this reading is screaming right at me. A lot of you don't necessarily maybe know sort of what's going on in my life, and that's fine. You don't necessarily need to, but the healing that I see in this card, the change that I see in this card, and all of it being grounded in this stone of happiness speaks to this idea, and I'll share this with you because it very much applies to me and my situation, but maybe some of you can relate, is that in the pursuit of our happiness, we need to be willing to heal ourselves and to change whatever needs to be faced, shifted, put into balance, put into, we need to look at it for what it is. And so when I look at these 3 cards together, I feel like this is a very big transition for those of you that this reading will make sense to, and for myself included. To me, I feel like this is about evolving ourselves, facing changes, making hard decisions, but all doing it while we're pursuing this idea of happiness. Remember, we also had this joy stone at the beginning of the week that also underpins this happiness. Everything that we should be doing right now, I feel as though we should be doing it with this focus of seeking our joy, our happiness, why we came here, what we came here to experience. That was the stone after joy, which was remember. To me, there is this opportunity to be had here. And we need to be willing to do the work, to make the changes, and to continue to seek that next sort of right feeling, that next step in our evolution, right? We want to pursue that with the sort of the force and the power that we see in this change card. We want to pursue it with the sort of wisdom that we see in Maria Sabina and the connection to not only her physical self and the awareness of that, but also the connection to our spiritual self and the connection to how we fit into the planet and to nature around us, both, animal, plant, mineral kingdoms. So let me read these to you really quick. Okay, Maria Sabina. So, healing. What ails you? Seeking help, helping others. Maria Sabina, who lived from 1894 to 1985, who could not read or write and lived in poverty in the mountains of southern Mexico, is considered the greatest shaman, poet, or wise one, Chota Chinye, of the Mazatec language. She improvised her chants during psilocybin mushroom ceremonies performed to heal the sick. That's why she feels kind of a little bit loopy and out there. She feels like she's tripping a little bit, but that's okay. We need to get out there to kind of heal ourselves and get to that next stage, making those changes, getting to that happiness. Her rich spiritual vision was informed by native Mazatec beliefs as well as the Catholic faith. So interesting there. I think that she's not only connected to nature, she's also connected to sort of that more religious experience. I think that all of that is what we're trying to bring in and kind of grounding it into our bodies, onto the planet, and walking in that. Let's bring in change, thunder, moon. Thunder, thunder. All right, thunder, moon, change. Accept change. Life, like the seasons, is about to change. Take advantage of change energy. Plan ahead. I welcome change and I ride its energy. One of the great truths in life is that change is constant. It is unavoidable and we can resist all we want, but nothing truly stays the same. It is better than we prepare and even direct change by setting intentions and building our personal power from the inside out. Seasonally, there are times of the year that have at their essence a profound sense of change, usually the shoulder seasons of autumn and spring. It is at these times of year we can feel more easily feel more easily the shift between one season and another. In autumn, the nights grow longer and there is a chill when darkness falls that wasn't there just weeks before. The breeze that blows is no longer balmy. The birds we have been watching all summer seem to have packed up and left, and in their place, new species appear to strut their stuff. We begin to dress with more layers, and we may even hunger for different foods. All these are signals of change. In spring, it's all about waking up and warming up, and the opposite happens. All of these are signals of change. This moon shines down upon the winds of change, the clearing storms, the electric crackle of lightning, and the boom of thunder echoing across the valley. There is a great energy to be channeled in such a time, and to be focused towards riding change with joy. There's that word joy again, guys, and ease. The companion stone or metal is serpentine. So that is very cool. I hope that this makes sense to you guys. This feels kind of like personal. It feels like the cards are hitting home with me. And I'm going to try not to bring myself too much into the reading. But if this is making sense to anybody else, if you guys feel sort of the crackle in the air or the opportunity for change, if there is, maybe if things are feeling a little bit kind of out of whack, not like you're on a mushroom trip, but maybe you're not feeling quite fully connected and you're trying to bring things into alignment. I believe that you will. This is transitory. Keep this focus on your happiness, the goal of that joy, and keep sort of channeling this energy. Ride it like that card says. Be excited by it. Go into it full force, as they say, balls deep. That's what Maria would probably do, being the mushroom-taking shaman that she was. And enjoy the journey, right? That's really the blessing. It's all just a wonderful journey, and that's what we're here to do, remembering that and seeking out the joys of that and the opportunities, even in, maybe the pitfalls or the upset, right? We always have an opportunity to pursue our happiness. All right, so that is your forecast for the day. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it. Share it out with anybody you'd like, and I will look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day, you guys. Okay, bye-bye.